Would you be able to sort of tell us how COVID-19 and the responses to it have affected your company and its projects?
Sure, sure. Well, our or one of our primary projects is located very close to the Aboriginal community of Hopevale in far north Queensland, just out of Cooktown, and currently we can't access either Cooktown or Hopevale. We can't access the site because as part of this coronavirus mitigation measures.
What plans do you have to adjust to this? How long will this hold things up?
Yeah, look, we're somewhat fortunate that we'd already undertaken a pretty extensive work program prior to these measures coming into place. So we didn't need to physically access the site. And to be honest, our first concern is really for the health and well-being of the communities in which we operate. And I think rather pleasingly, as far as I'm aware, to date, there's been no reported cases at all of coronavirus within the Cape region, which is actually a tremendous achievement. So those mitigation measures are proving very successful, obviously, which we welcome. And as a responsible corporate citizen, we want to see that continue. Certainly, in terms of moving forward, however, we do have a process of engagement with the community as the project is currently transitioning through a permitting and approval process. So in the medium term, these restrictions will definitely be an impediment to our forward progress.
So how do you plan to move forward with the project?
Yeah, again, what we found in the community and even with the regulatory agencies have taken a very sensible approach, and even that dissemination of information to the community we've been able to do via other means than face-to-face. So community members that are already in the region, we've been able to spread project information, get pamphlets printed, engage in teleconferencing activity to sort of mitigate some of that or that loss of face-to-face contact. So, we've found, a genuine sense of, okay, there's a problem, let's work together and see if we can't, in the short term, come to some sort of solution to that and still progress everything forward.
In a way, that's bringing you strangely closer together with the community,
Indeed.
isn't it?
Yeah, we share a
And
common problem, and they've been very successful. In their mitigation measures, they've been very successful, and we want to see that continue.
that's good. That's good. So how is your time frame adjusted for that project then, do you think?
Oh, I think there's no doubt there'll be a little bit of slippage, but I think maybe by a couple of months. But I suppose the unknown still at this point is when the communities in the region will be able to open up to traffic, for want of a better term. So if that happens in May, that's fine. If it stretches out to June or July, then it will start to become an issue for us.
And what about your other projects, Neil?
We're fortunate too, whilst our project, we actually have two, both our primary projects are in areas that have been quarantined. This other one is in Cyclone in Western Australia, which is near the Junjun, or Jujunjara, and the Pillaroo peoples reside there. Again, we're fortunate that we don't need to undertake any site activity at the moment, and we won't for several months. So we don't see any hold up there in the process. That's just going through a sale or joint venture process at the moment. So that shouldn't hold us up at all.
Do you think that there's the COVID-19 and the response to it will it in the future will lead to a fundamental change in the way you do your business? Do you think?
I think so. I think this is a great unknown at the moment, but I suppose in the mining sector or commodity sector generally, the jury's still out, I suppose, on the measures that have been implemented effectively to quarantine and protect people from the virus. What effect that'll have on the economies moving forward? So our risk in our sector is if the broader economies move into recession or worse, then that has to affect commodity prices and demand. So a lot of the commodities in which our sector works in, heavy mineral sands, silica, and a lot of other industrial minerals, are really based around a growing economy or growth in the economy. And if the developed economies move towards a recession, well, demand will have to slip. So that's the broader concern, is not only the immediate issue about not catching the virus, but the flow-on effect from the shutdown of the economy in the mineral space entirely. So, that's a broader risk, and I don't think we know the shape of that yet, and we may not for several months.
But there may be opportunities out there as well, mightn't there? So, I mean,
I think so.
different
Absolutely.
uses.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're concentrated, certainly on our silica project, in renewable energy space, and we don't see the demand for that lessening. And also what we're seeing and feedback we're getting from government, particularly in northern Queensland, which has been absolutely decimated by the shutdown in the tourism industry, that our project can make a very positive contribution economically to the region. So we are engaging with government and regulatory agencies, perhaps to look at ways to fast track the project, so that we can make a genuine contribution regionally. There's some enormous. We recently announced results of an economics study undertaken by Cummins Economics on the project, and there's a with full flow-on effect. It's equivalent to 110 full-time positions in our silica project. So that's an enormous regional boost, and we think we can make post opening up of the area really important regional economic contribution by getting our project implemented as quickly as we can.
This is a project that they may be giving priority to.
No, absolutely. Yeah, we're definitely pushing with the regulatory agencies right now to say we can be part of the solution. We can greatly dampen the almost catastrophic economic effects that are being felt in North Queensland, and we definitely want to fast track our project if we can. And if the regulatory agencies are cooperative with us, we're very confident that we can.
Oh, that sounds really positive. And have they been responsive?
Oh yes, yeah. Initial responses are very responsive. I think to be honest, part of their focus at the moment is containment, but we see that really starting to transition in their thought processes to beyond containment, really to re-establishment of economic activity. And I think of all the economic activities, mining can move relatively quickly, but it's very much open-ended on tourism. International travel may not resume this year at all. So, if the areas start to open up in June, May, June, we can get our project up and running by first quarter next year. So we can make a really big contribution regionally.
Okay, well, that actually sounds promising, Neil. So hopefully we can speak with you again in a little while to see how that's going. That would be great.
Yeah. I suppose in chaos there is opportunity. We don't want to be seen to be profiting from hardship, but we view it as a positive. We can bring economic activity to a region that really needs it.
You've touched on how this all may affect the industry, but is there anything more you'd like to add to that as to how you think this may affect the industry as a whole going ahead?
Yeah, I think, look, there's many unknowns in both how long this process of containment will last, and we see some, I suppose, discord between various states on measures that are being taken. Providing that platform can become clearer so we understand when restrictions can be lifted so we can have site access and other things. And if the regulatory agencies assist us in our processes, I think mining industry in particular can be one of the strong drivers for economic recovery. And I think, if there is a lesson from this, it is that sustainable, regular mining activity, can certainly underpin very importantly an economy, whereas some of the other, more reliance on something that's sustainable and can be relied upon is important in these times.
And how about your international sort of dealings? How has it impacted on those?
Well, we've our primary off-taker or the market for both our products is China, and they've transitioned through the coronavirus issues. Obviously, that's where it started, and they're the first to start to transition out. And we see no softening yet of demand for the products we're involved in. Even if it comes, we don't see that as being a major issue for us because of the markets and the relationships we have with our potential off-takers. So, and I think it'll be, the Chinese economy is swinging back into action quite quickly, and the stimulus packages the Chinese government have put in place are very target specific, and they center around strategic minerals and keeping their production lines going. So, again, there is a positive in that the first economy that's likely to transition out of this is the one that we'll be selling our product to.